Allison, if you're new here, I'm kind of a dork, and this is one of my projects that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. And honestly, I think it's time to warm up the house because there's a winter storm potentially coming, like tomorrow night. So I'd like to get these done as possible just in case the power goes out. I am going to be a first time DM for my boyfriend, but he has kind of let me take the reins on the idea of a homebrew world and 4 characters that I have made the backstories for and all of that, and he picked everything else. And I'm making them dice sets today. That's what the plan is. And I'm not going to tell you much about their backstories now. I'm going to save it for the voiceovers because I really love their stories, and I don't think I could shorten them, to be honest. I'm gonna grab my clay. We're gonna choose the colors, kind of tabletop style. I'm gonna grab my molds, and we're gonna just see what happens here. And let's make some dice sets for my babies. This is all of my specifically like open clay. This is stuff I want to get rid of this year. That I want to at least pare down some. I'm already seeing a gray that I think would be great for Une. This is actually some Cernit clay that I dyed with markers. I think that could be good. And let's see, here's kind of the palettes are going for. I'm going for like purple and brown from Maljack. Une, I want like a gray and smoky vibe. Tenwin, being an artificer with a glass blowing family background is what I kind of want, just like smoky. I also have some black. There's some like dirty colors on that. So look, I don't take the best care of my clay, and I admit that. This is actually some of that Cernit stuff that I have. I do have a few colors of it with some stuff. So we could do something really cool for treasure there. I was hoping for it to be kind of like a different shade of green, but I'm kind of liking these tones all together. I kind of like all of that with like the swirls and whatnot out of here. I might add some of the dark blue Cernit just for a little fun, like a little bit more of that glassy sheen, or maybe some of this Cernit that's like really pretty. It's kind of like a light blue. That could be interesting. Down here, I've got Maljack. This might be more not enough clay, but I can just grab some. This is so I can just grasp the color palettes. I don't have much for Tenwin. So I do have these. I wonder if it might make a little more sense to go bronze and some stained glass, like chopping this up and using alcohol markers to color the clay. Now that I'm seeing it, I wonder if maybe that's the better option. It's not gonna be like perfectly translucent, but like it would at least like be something. Like maybe we tint it with a little bit of white, and then I really wish I could remember the colors of the iron hides. Because I just remembered I have gold and silver foil. We could do treasure is gonna get gold. I'm trying to decide if I want Tenlin or Une to have silver. See, I don't want to go like red and white because I worry that would just look a little bit too pink. Let's see what colors I have. See, I got one of the big sets. I have a lot of alcohol markers. I feel like maybe if we tint it just like a little bit, like maybe with like one of these colors, and maybe I add some pearl powder because I do have some. We could have something interesting. Maybe go like a champagne and like wine red color. I feel like that maybe wouldn't go too far pink. Okay, I have mostly the plan. I'm gonna figure out how to rearrange this camera because it's a bit off center, and we're gonna get started. So the first character I want to talk about is this purple set, which is for Maljack Galas. He is a Harengon warlock, and his patron is actually a hag who has the desire for something that drives everyone in their everyday lives. It's their memories, but not the ones that everybody has just every day, like what time they get up, what time they go to bed, what they eat for lunch. It's the ones that drive you. It's your memories that are tied to deep desire. It's like the first time looking upon your newborn child. It's maybe your first kill as a soldier on the battlefield. It's that kind of thing. Maljack gained this pack in exchange for the life of his friend Rosie, and he became this agent for the hag in hopes of adding to her menagerie of memories to gain control over the souls that she could not care less about. Now, next is Treasure, and Treasure is a green dragonborn. Treasure is an Oath of Vengeance paladin for the party, and I think his story deep down is really linked more to the integral plot. It's kind of what I had, at least from the political side of things, he is very tied into this because he is a dragonborn. Dragonborn, kobolds, a lot of races and even classes are kind of exiled, asylum, I don't really know, I guess exile probably is the better word here, to a part of the country that was already ravaged and devastated by the Mad King's War, due to a whole other thing. And so his mining village is under control of the crown, and the government has seized and continues to control all of the ore and jewels there, because where they are sent is a bountiful mining resource for the entire country, if not continent. And with everyone here, Treasure became kind of a pickpocket when he was a young boy, and he wouldn't go for like the shiny stuff. Treasure always found the value in the rusted swords, the armor pieces that would get gross, the stained rags, the things that the knights and people in charge didn't really want, because, you know, they could just get new stuff because they were rich and powerful. Treasure found the value in everything and things that didn't really matter to others, and therefore he gained the name Treasure. And so when he realized that he found the value in everything and everyone was seeing what he could do with this stuff, there was a plan to escape. Now, this next set, the grayscale one, is for personally my favorite backstory. This is for Une. Une is a ranger. We haven't quite figured out a subclass yet, but Une is very special because they are a changeling. The story actually begins with Une a century ago, with Theron Oxenai, who was on the side of the Mad King during the war. Like, it was a whole thing. I'm trying not to give away too much. I don't know if my boyfriend's going to watch this video or not. He's been a key researcher into the Feywilds, and his job was specifically to find the gates to work around the enemy front lines and blah, 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 war tactics. His work had discovered a lot of things, including the interesting creature he captured that years down the line would become Une's mother. And Theron and the creature ended up having a total of 6 children, and how he raised them, they all grew into powerful agents of chaos with the abilities of their mother. They grew into the trees, the shadows, and Une became a person that eventually wanted to see their father's blood spilled for raising them into puppets of devastation into the next soldiers for the Mad King's heart. However, one night things got complicated and Une found the house, the lab, everything in flames. Their father's work is forgotten, notebooks destroyed, ripped apart, siblings either missing or found dead, body parts astrew. And the only piece of the puzzle remaining was a note that they didn't understand, but the only thing recognizable was a symbol of the capital city of Greifell. Now, this last one is for Tenwyn Ironhide, and a little bit of a trigger warning here because Tenwyn's story is kind of upsetting. I could see a lot of people having issue with it if they have past trauma. Okay. This last set is for Tenwyn Ironhide, and just a bit of a trigger warning here because her story is kind of upsetting. I know a lot of people sometimes use D&D to embrace trauma or to work through some things, and I don't like to force others to hear it, so if you don't want to hear it, I don't blame you. Tenwyn is a gnome artificer from a noble glassblowing family in the county of Ishalond, and due to a lot of circumstances, her father kind of pushes her into an arranged marriage, and the guy is a drunk, abusive, and repeatedly tries to overturn Tenwyn's sight on the family business. She never really wanted much to do with the family name because of her maiden name being Ironhide. She actually has ties to her uncle, Sindri Ironhide. And Sindri is a high chair among the nobles within the Greifell Council, and their job is to kind of, lead. They're more like a parliament, if I could really put a nail in it. And this guy basically, he wanted the maiden name. He wanted to be an Ironhide. And after a lot of nights of pain and suffering and just over this guy's shit, Tenwin has a long talk with her mother, who is actually a clergyman at the local church. She decides that she's done and she's giving herself the chance to escape. So she does what any housewife would do, mildly poison her husband so his ass stays asleep, takes the only weapon in the house, her glass bowling supplies, and what gold she had been saving through her pieces being sold in the family store to live a better life. And so the dice. The dice have their own problems. I don't know how much I'm gonna get. I don't remember how much I get into it. But the gel polish has some problems, and we're gonna let like normal video Maddie talk about that. I need to lament on just how these dice truly turn out. I am moving on to plan B for inking the dice. My pens are fraying kind of bad. I see a lot of people coating their polymer clay pieces in general with nail polish. I have gel polish, including metallic cat eyes. So yeah, these dice, it did not go the way I had planned. Originally, I was trying to do like base color top coat and like all of this, and it did not work. I needed like 40 seconds of voiceover for this, but I am just frankly kind of mad at past me for wanting this to work, because it was one, a labor of love. It took so long. My back kind of hurts looking at this footage. Also, it's very out of focus and I'm very sorry about that. But it did not work out the way I had hoped, and I'm very sorry about that. So let's finish this video. So I have no idea at this point, I really kind of don't remember how much of the process I actually showed you guys, but it probably wasn't much because this was so straining on my body. This took, at this point, several hours, and there was no way I was sitting there draining my phone over and over and over and over again to continue filming this process. This took ages, and I'm still not done. So honestly, I'm cutting the process short of showing you guys, unfortunately, because I also kind of hate the result. I am split literally 50-50 on this, of using gel polish on dice. So I'll start with the good. I'll start with the good here. I'll show you guys the results of 2 of the sets. So these 2 sets, Une and Treasures, these look phenomenal. Like these look great. However, there are still flaws. I need to fix these flaws. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it. It's gel nail polish. I treated it like gel nail polish. There's where it was pulling away from the sides. None of these really got super even. And that can really only be solved by buffing or sanding or more layers, and that risks a whole lot of other issues, to the point where I probably should have kept them matte. So on one of the fail ones, you can also probably see it a bit, like how we're being bubbled this. I think part of that was the temperature. Yeah, it's 20 degrees outside. I'm pretty sure something didn't go right because of this. And I'll go ahead and get into the fails, because some of them aren't as egregious. And I will say Tenwin's dice set isn't that bad. I really love how the inking color I picked looks on the light die. However, you can probably see it though. The top coat leaked and made things uneven, and I don't know if I'll be able to cut that off. Dark dyes, though, this looks god awful. This looks terrible. And again, it's that same rippling, you can kind of see where it's just super uneven and there's gaps, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but I live and learn. Now, Maljax is a whole other story. I really wanted to do a color of Maljax magic. I wanted to do something special. I didn't like the colors of purple polish that I had. So I thought, okay, let me just go with a purple paint pen, and that's what that looks like. That doesn't look that bad. However, I was a little nervous about putting nail polish on top of a paint pen and just kind of leaving it that. So I thought, okay, maybe just in case it needs something to stick to, because this shimmer color is actually like an iridescent, it's really pale. It's like, I don't know. Let me try it with white. You can see where there's white numbers. That's what the color looks like on top of white numbers. It just looks blue and shitty. So genuinely, I want to throw away Malcheck set and try again. On a whole other different day, not in a video. I hate them. 10 wins. I honestly may reevaluate the dark dyes, because the ones that are light are very pretty. These are honestly my favorite combination of dyes that I was able to make in this entire thing. I mean, I really love Une's set as a whole, but one, I forgot this blue clay I have is like UV reactant. Didn't know that, so that's kind of cool. But this though, this looks bad. I don't like that. I don't like that. Then the D6 no longer sits flat. It doesn't. It rocks. It's very much uneven. It's bulging. So I'm unhappy with that in general. Honestly, I'm still gonna put this video up. I'm still gonna like talk about it and whatnot, because not every art video is gonna be perfection. We should talk about the fails more. And I'm still happy about 2 of these sets at least. So there's something. I still have something I can show my partner because I'm really excited about giving them to him. I'm also really excited about the other D&D crafts and projects that I'm doing later on in the year, and even coming up soon, also talking about my partner's D&D character. If you want to stay tuned for more things such as that, or if you're doing any D&D craft projects, feel free to subscribe, work along on them with me. Bye!